it's Emily. I am back with another makeup tutorial. This look is fall inspired, lots of berry tones, very rich, warm colors, and I really love this look. It's actually super easy to execute. I really only use like one or two brushes on the eyes. You can be very messy with it. The only thing that's sort of tricky is just the winged liner. I would love to hear your thoughts about this video down in the comment section below. I read and respond to everything. If you enjoy this video, give me a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's jump into this tutorial.
So lately I've been priming my eyes using this Urban Decay primer potion rather than using a concealer. I don't know, I'm kind of liking this. I mean, this stuff is amazing, but I kind of like the no concealer look. So using my Morphe 350 palette, I am going into a skin tone shade and just buffing that all over my entire eye space just to give me a nice clean slate. Now I'm going into Cupcake from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to mainly put this in the crease area with a fluffy brush, but this is a little bit of a flatter fluffy brush just so I can diffuse the color a little bit better, but I'm also running it very gently and lightly over the lid. Now I'm going into the slightly deeper brown or skin tone color from the Morphe palette and buffing this all over my eye all the way up to my crease just using a big blending brush from Zoeva. You can be super messy with it. Next I'm going into this more rusty brown color and doing the exact same thing. I'm just trying to build up a lot of depth, and honestly my camera and the lighting that I have doesn't pick it up perfectly, so it looked a little bit more vibrant in person. Next I'm going into Makeup Geek's Bitten, doing the same thing again. Like, you can see how simple this is. I'm focusing this one a little bit more in the crease just to give me a little bit more of a berry toned like halo around my eyes. Now I'm going into Mai Tai from Makeup Geek. This is a duochrome shadow, one of my favorites. Duochromes are like so fun for me to play with, and I love putting them just like all over the eye. But for this, I'm putting it just on the inner corner, like the inner half actually of my eye, all the way from the inner corner to like directly over my pupil. This just gives a little bit more of a shift to the makeup look and also brightens up the eye a little bit without changing the colors too much. Now I'm going into this it's just a brown color from the Morphe palette, and just putting this on the outside of my eye using a little Sigma brush. This is one of my favorite brushes of all time. I'm sort of deepening up that outer V a little bit, but I'm not necessarily making this super smoky. Just wanted to add a little bit more depth and dimension. So now I'm going back into Bitten one last time and smoothing this out over what I just did, just to make it a little bit more flawless and smooth and there's no harsh lines. Next, I am going in with Cupcake and buffing that around the edges as well, just to give a little bit more of a pink hazy look to the eye. Now I'm going in with my Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper. I have never used this before. This came in a Sephora Play. Okay, I like it. I think it's really nice, honestly. It's nice and black, but it doesn't dry down to a matte finish, which for some reason I was expecting that. Like I said, I've never used that before. So I will say that it is super duper intense and you get amazing color payoff as well as precision. It was really easy for me to create a really sharp wing, but it just wasn't matte. Next, I'm going into these Huda Beauty Samantha lashes. These are gorgeous, but honestly a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm a lash wimp, you could say. I mean, I'm just like, ugh, lashes just don't feel good. I just don't like them, but I put them on for the sake of this video. I purchased them, so I might as well use them because they were expensive, as Kathleen Lights would say. Next, I'm just going to sort of bond my natural lashes to those very, very, very lightly. I do not want to ruin them, so I'm just going in with some Maybelline Great Lash and just sort of sticking those together. Now we can move on to the face. I'm using this Smashbox primer. A little bit goes a long way, less is more, honestly, otherwise it'll bunch up. For foundation, I'm using this Jouer Matte Moisture Tint Sunscreen and mixing that with a little bit of Do the Hula from Benefit, tapping that out with a dampened beauty sponge. I just wanted to say, first of all, this color is a little bit fair for me, even though I did mix in the bronzer to it. But second of all, it says that it's matte, and I was like an oil slick after I filmed this video. Like, it did not last long, so I don't really think I like this, honestly. So my first impression is that I wouldn't really recommend. For under the eyes, I'm using my IT Cosmetics Waterproof Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, tapping that out with my fingers first to warm it up and melt the product into my skin, and then using a beauty sponge. Next, I'm going into this Estee Lauder Loose Perfection perfecting powder and just pressing this all over my skin. This provides a little bit of coverage, honestly, and it deepened up my foundation a teensy tiny little bit. So that's why I went with a more full coverage powder. Next, for under my eyes, I'm going to set them using my Be a Bombshell Cosmetics Smooth Criminal Powder, Ride or Die. I love this stuff. I can't go a day without it. So back to the lower lash line, I'm using Makeup Geek's Bitten again and using a little Sigma brush, buffing that underneath the lashes and keeping it really, really close. I don't want it to be like too faded out right now. I will buff it out later. I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Aqua XL black liner to tight line. I liked this. It lasted pretty well. It didn't glide on as smoothly as my Estee Lauder liner, but it was not bad. It was definitely comparable. So, hey, I can appreciate that for sure, and it lasted a long time. Now I'm just going to smudge out some of that black into the Bitten from before using that same brush, and then I'm going into Cupcake and using a pencil brush to diffuse that color even more, giving me a nice like purpley pink halo. Again, these are the same shadows that I used on top, so I'm just following the same sort of method. Then I'm going back in with Mai Tai from Makeup Geek and just popping this on the inner corner, except for I'm not putting this halfway across my eye like I did on top, maybe just like a quarter or a third. For contour, I'm going to be using the two lighter shades in the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, of course. And then I'm using sort of a angled face fluffy brush for this. I love how this contours. It just makes everything look so flawless without like any effort, really. Like you can just do it with your eyes closed and you would look good. So I love that. I'm also going to contour my nose a little bit using I don't know, it's sort of a denser fluffy brush, if that makes any sense. And then, yep, that's pretty much it. Next, I'm going to mix these two lighter shades and highlight underneath my eyes a little bit to brighten up that area. Not too much, just a little bit. And then down the bridge of the nose, on the chin, and center of the forehead. For lower lashes, I'm going to go back in with that Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. This just gives the lashes a really nice, like feathery and soft look. For the brows, I'm using my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Brunette. First, I'm brushing those brow hairs up, and then I'm going to go to town. This is in real time, people. I did not speed this up. No, I'm just kidding. I sped this up like 200%. So, yeah. Anyway, I love this pencil so much. It is probably my favorite out of everything I have ever tried, and it's inexpensive. Next, to set that, I'm using my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, but I've been hearing about soap brows, and I need to try that because brow gel is expensive. Next, I'm going in with this gorgeous Estee Lauder blush in the shade Audacious Plum. It's my favorite blush from Lauder. It's just, oh my gosh, I love it. It grabs the cheeks and just makes them look like plump little juicy apples or something. Then I'm going into my Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Gleam, putting this over the top of my cheekbones, the cupid's bow, the nose, and then I'm also going to highlight even more using a brighter color in the palette and just going over those exact same spots. Side note, I had no idea that these were all limited edition, so I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can get this anymore. Yeah, that's such a bummer. I wish they would just keep them out longer. Anyway, I'm also going to put this underneath my eyebrow as well, just to give a little bit of lift. Now I'm lining my lips with Max Spice lip liner. I'm filling out the outer corners a little bit on the upper lip, just to give a little bit more fullness. For lipstick, I'm using this gorgeous Huda Beauty liquid matte lipstick in the shade Trophy Wife. I know how obnoxious it is that it matches my shirt and my eyes, but hey, it ties the whole look together. And then finally, I'm going to set my face using my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and that is it.